So, with the advent of the new system of ranked in World of Warships, and knowing just how frustrating the players like myself can be to play with or against in ranked World of Warships, I thought I would create a little guide on how to deal with or describe or maybe handle, I guess, some of the players that you're going to be popping up in your World of Warships ranked games. Now again, I'm going to put a little bit of a disclaimer here. I'm not the best World of Warships player. That should be fairly evident based on the gameplay that I presented on this channel so far. So what I say in this video, please, for the love of God, do not take it seriously. It is a joke after all, with a little bit of truth sprinkled in. Oh, and one more thing, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/thedarkcalling pretty much every day at 11 AM or sometime after GMT. Come join and have some fun, or just watch me rage even more than I do in some of these videos. The choice is yours. So with all that garbage out of the way, let's get into the video. So the first player we're going to discuss is the overeager player. Now this player tends to be newer to the game and has yet to learn all the pitfalls of playing a ranked game, especially when they get to higher tiers of play, like the Gold League for example, or past rank 5 in the previous system. Now what this translates to in game is an overeagerness to do a few things that are a big no-nos in ranked World of Warships. You know, things like rushing a cap without realizing that the enemy has a Stalingrad, Petropavlovsk and a Des Moines on it, which ends quite as well as you'd expect it to end. You could even group the overeager players in along with the impatient players. We all know or have been an impatient player. I for one tend to become this type of player when I get tired, and for some reason something breaks in my brain and I decide that it's a perfect time to play ranked. And what happens is that what should be passive parts of the game where you wait for something to happen turns into a hunt for something to do, which usually ends up with me trying to 1v1 a daring in my Holland, which again ends just as well as you'd expect. The next player might not be better, but I can guarantee that they will be different. Slightly. So we're about to do a 180 so hard it's going to make your head spin, and switch from the overeager player to basically the exact opposite, the extremely passive player. Now this player is often confused with the AFK player, mostly because when you look at the timer on the game and you see that 10 minutes have passed and they're still in the same position, and as you're about to type in chat in an attempt to make them wake up because you think they're AFK, you see shells flying through the air coming from their general direction and land about 5 kilometers from anything on the enemy team, and you realize, oh wait, they're just an extremely passive player and not AFK. Although, in the grand scheme of things, it's not all that much different, to be honest. So what categorizes an extremely passive player, I hear absolutely no one ask? Well, allow me to explain. They're usually spotted playing the Yamato, Shimakaze, or even possibly the Conqueror. Although I haven't seen that ship in so long, I thought it was removed a while ago, even though it's extremely overpowered. And while these players might be aware that the enemy team exists, they have a very real fear, possibly from past experiences, that if they get spotted, then they're going to get melted faster than the iron bars in the World Trade Center. But the best thing you can do when you spot a player like this? Pray that they can aim well, because they're not going to be tanking damage, that's for sure. Let's move along. So the next player is not so much your player in rank, but more of an unintended consequence of not paying attention while playing World of Warships, and it's none other than the accidental ranked player. Now you might finally fire up World of Warships for the evening, play a few random battles to warm up, and then decide to hop into your Holland and try to win a few ranked games. So you do just that. And at first everything seems normal. You have ships that don't seem that far out of the ordinary for ranked, a Thunder, a Holland, and any other combination of ships needed. But the whole idea that this was going to be a normal game is shattered when a single chat message pops up and comes within your range of view, and all it simply says is, yo, guys, this isn't ranked, right? This is co-op. And there, right there, you know it's probably going to be a game where your team is going to have to battle 6v7 for the majority of it, because this guy forgot to switch game types when they first locked in. Now, it isn't all bad. It's probably just as likely a player like this could also appear on the enemy team, just as commonly as they appear on yours, and thus enjoy the 6v7 on the opposite side of that in that case. But overall, these players can generally still play relatively well in ranked, and they can in randoms too. And of course, well, we all make mistakes. And just like a couple of days ago on my stream, where I was playing the first game of the day in my daring, I decided it would be a fantastic idea to try to 2v1 a Marsu in a Holland. And yeah, it didn't go well. Well, when I say it didn't go well, I basically switched to playing battleships for the rest of the day, and I'm absolutely terrible at battleships. Rambling over, let's get on to the next ship. Sorry, player. Next player. Force of habit. So next on the list of players that you're likely to meet in ranked World of Warships is the false Super Unicom player. Before I even talk about this one, you probably know where this is going. I mean, I'm hardly going to make fun of someone who's clearly so good at the game they make me look like a bot in comparison. Unless they were never actually that good in the first place. But in actuality, this is going to be more of a critique of the way some players act when they don't perform that well in a particular game of World of Warships, and specifically ranked. So when we talk about false Super Unicom players, I don't mean players that come into the game and pretend that they're the best in the game, because, well, that almost never happens. The players I'm specifically referencing right here tend to be much more like dead team commanders. You know the type. They tend to have a little bit more of a habit of dying much too early in the game, and then probably through some divine intervention, they believe that they've been installed with the knowledge of all things, including World of Warships gameplay analysis, and thus spend the rest of the game telling others how to angle, what to shoot, where to position, telling people why the hell did you pick the gearing in a ranked game, and that the fact that we're going to lose if we don't get C-capped within the next 5 seconds. Etc, etc, the list goes on, but I think at this point you get the idea, so just like that, let's move along. So what would I be without commenting on the most common World of Warships player in ranked? Probably a decent content creator, but there we go. The final World of Warships player is none other than the average player, and I know what you're thinking, how the hell can you group such a large amount of players by certain characteristics and hope to be accurate? To which I respond, have you seen this channel before? That's literally all I do. Well, for the most part. So, with that out of the way, let's go over some of the characteristics that make up the average ranked World of Warships player. Well, for one thing, they generally sit at around a 50% win rate, so much like flipping a coin, they can very easily win you the game, but at the same time can just as easily be the main reason you lose the game. There's something about the inconsistency of the average player that really makes each ranked game an exciting experience. Will I win a star? Will I lose a star? Will my Yamato citadel the enemy Montana 3 times? Or will he shoot HE all game? Who knows? Another thing the average player tends to be is predictable. Now, I know, how the hell can they both be inconsistent and predictable at the same time? Well, when the average player gets into a game and starts playing, let's say the game isn't going all that well. Well, the predictability of the average player means that in that situation, they're probably going to not perform too well. Well, all that well. Whereas if we flip the situation and they're in the winning game state, then things tend to go well. But their control over which state they get thrown into is out of their control, which is where the inconsistency comes into the equation. Not completely unlike a bot, but I guess I probably shouldn't say that, I guess. But did I just describe myself as a bot? I think so. So that sums up another video. If you want to watch an average player in the wild, then come watch my stream. Link in the description below. If you've got any ideas that you think would make an interesting video, leave them down below in the comment section. But until next time, I'll see you all in the next one.